my friend, welcome back to a new video. Today I wanted to talk about sleep. Sleep, that essential third of our life that we spend comatose and unconscious, and yet what's happening in our sleep is really, in a lot of ways, the most important part of our day, because the way I understand it is when we sleep, our soul, our subtle bodies leave the physical body. There's always a connection. We haven't left permanently, of course, but our soul, our subtle body leaves the physical, and in deep sleep actually returns back into soul state, returns back into the soul worlds, the spiritual world. Some people call it Morontia worlds. Basically, the soul worlds is that deeper, finer, higher vibration realm that we live in. That's actually our home. That's actually our existence. It's only when we're doing an incarnation, we've come down, we've joined with the physical form, we're having a life as James or whoever it is in our human existence, having this excursion, this outing, this day trip into form, into matter, perhaps on this planet we call Earth. But this is not all that we are. What did Wayne Dyer say? We're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And when we sleep, we're really plugging back into that. We're recharging. We're going back into soul state where, we get guidance, we get to recharge, we reconnect, reorient ourselves. It's like we gather up our forces then to come back into our life and get through another day of this challenging, beautiful, amazing, wonderful ordeal we call life, we call our human existence. And so I'm sure you know heaps about sleep hygiene, and on that level we could talk about how the stress of the world today is making it harder. Most people are having difficulty sleeping, I'm finding, between the bombardment of higher frequency, Wi-Fi and all those different kind of wavelengths that we get through all the technology we run these days. That interferes with our sleep. Certainly our busy lifestyles, much more hectic, much more rushing around, much more doing, much more movement than our ancestors had to deal with. Certainly we're dealing with a bombardment too on this human level of a lot of programming, a lot of messages, a lot of information. I mean, my goodness, just scroll on the phone. There's a Chinese medicine guy, Josh Sauer, who says that after 8 minutes our organs are stressed when we scroll, because it's a lot of information to be taking in. Our biology is not designed for that level of stimulation. So for all these reasons, and you could probably add a few more right now to the conversation here about why sleep is becoming more difficult. You think about a time maybe where you went and stayed out in the country somewhere or out in the bush somewhere, and away from all those radio waves, away from all that extra stimulation, back in the simplicity of a more nature-based existence for a few days, did you notice how much better you slept? How much more grounded and connected you felt? How much easier it was to sleep? So on that human level, sleep hygiene. Good to keep talking about that, exploring that, tweaking that, adjusting that. Obvious ones like don't drink too much coffee after lunchtime, this sort of thing, or any coffee, that 9 p.m. coffee is probably not helping you sleep. There's a lot on that practical human level to keep refining. It's more challenging now than it's ever been for our ancestors, to have quality sleep. But the key point I want to emphasize today is that it's not just rest. It's not just a physiological rest for our organs our system to rejuvenate and heal. And that obviously happens. That's a critical part of it. But it's more than that. It's spiritual. It's a recharge for our soul. It's a reconnecting on a soul level. Sometimes after a deep sleep, we can remember dreams which seem to have a deeper level of reality to them, and maybe we got a download. Maybe there was some information or guidance or something that actually came from the dream. Well, that's very real, because our consciousness is expanded back into soul state, and we're actually getting real support, love, a boost, and often guidance and information from that level. So it's like a spiritual practice we have when we're not doing anything, but it's critical. In fact, people who don't sleep, who are not allowed to sleep, start to go crazy after a few days. We just can't function without it. So a couple of things. On a practical level, I just wanted to show you a very simple technique that I learned. It's called the butterfly technique. So you just put your hands like this and place it on your chest. This is a good thing to do if you're lying in bed, can't sleep, the mind's racing. It's a good way of switching on the vagus nerve. And basically what you're doing is just tapping. That contact with that part of the body, where we're tapping is where the vagus nerve runs down through the body. And so just doing this for a couple of minutes, more than a few seconds to get a benefit. But this simple butterfly tapping technique is stimulating the vagus nerve. And you will notice, after a minute or two, you can check in. Maybe the thoughts are quietening down. Maybe it feels a bit more relaxed in the body. What we're doing is switching on the parasympathetic nervous system through the vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is the major parasympathetic nerve. We're switching on the parasympathetic, which is all the rest and digest nervous system, as opposed to sympathetic nervous system, which is firing us up into activity. So there's a simple but really useful technique you can use if you're having trouble falling asleep. And the other thing I wanted to offer you was a guided hypnosis. So if not already, why don't you close down the eyes, just giving yourself a few moments here to do some guided practice. And just starting as always with some nice deep breathing. Once again, belly breathing stimulates the vagus nerve. The nerve wraps right around the stomach down into the belly, so deep breathing stimulates the parasympathetic as well. So enjoying some nice long deep breathing. Just notice how good it feels to relax, let go. And know that as you move through the afternoon, come into the evening, that you're preparing for sleep. You're preparing to go home. You're preparing for your greater consciousness to expand back into soul state. And so imagine that now. Imagine your body is already asleep, lying there, warm, safe, comfortable. And imagine your subtle bodies have already left the physical body, and the etheric's still there, keeping the heart pumping, keeping the lungs breathing. But the soul, the astral bodies have left the physical, risen up above, and there's a cord that connects them all together that's never broken until we leave the body for good. We'd call that death on a human level. But that cord keeps us connected like a lifeline, joining the subtle bodies with the physical body as you find yourself looking down at the physical body, lying there, quietly breathing. And you look upward and notice yourself rising up above the room, above the house. Wherever that body's resting, you find yourself rising higher and higher up through the sky, the horizon, stretching further and further around you, rising up higher and higher, drifting up through the clouds, and you find your mind switching back into soul state. Just notice yourself coming home to a place that's so familiar, so much lighter and easier and high frequency to what happens in our human existence. It's a place of love and support. Just imagine yourself going to a favourite place in the spiritual world. It's a place that you've been many times, a place where you feel wonderful and just enjoy being. Maybe you meet with loved ones in spirit here. It might be an amazing building, it might be outside a beautiful scene in nature. But here you are now, return back into soul state, return back into this higher expanded consciousness. While the body, brain, personality is sleeping so deeply down there on earth. You're here, reconnecting to all that you are beyond time and space. You're here reconnecting with your guides and loved ones here in the spiritual worlds. Just feel how good it feels to be resting, recharging, re-inspiring yourself through this beautiful connection to spirit, to source. And of course, in the spiritual worlds, just notice how much easier it is to feel the presence of source, to feel that connection with the divine, with all that is, with Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, the very source and creator of who and what we are. Just feel how good it feels to be able to bask in the love, the light, the peace, the joy of our very source. So much closer, so much easier to see and feel here from a soul state. Feel that recharge filling up every aspect of your being. You might even see the light filling up your being, every aspect of who and what you are as an eternal soul, until you feel so full, so recharged, so effortlessly enlightened by love, by peace, by freedom, here in soul state. And you share this perhaps with another or some others that are here with you. Maybe they're part of your soul family. Maybe it's your main guide. Maybe your angels are here. Just sharing in this peace, this joy, this lightness here in the spiritual worlds, in your beautiful spiritual place. And when you're ready, it's time to return back to the body, to bring all of this energy with you, this love, this peace, this light that's now filling you to overflowing, radiating out through you in all directions. It's time to bring this loving energy with you as you take your awareness back down through the clouds, back down, approaching the earth, approaching the neighborhood, approaching the place where your body is lying. Just coming back into that room, that space, gently feeling yourself just slipping back into the body, back into the body, brain, personality of you as the human expression of you. And you notice the human you gradually waking up, gently coming out of a deep, deep, restful sleep. And as you wake up, notice how you feel. Notice perhaps what messages you got, what guidance you got. Maybe just that reminder, that filling up again of that feeling, that sense, that presence of love and joy that we are an intrinsic part of. And bring that feeling, bring that sense, bring that with you now fully back into the room. Soft eyes gently opening as you deepen the breathing, deepen your physical awareness as you gradually come back into the space, coming back into a gentle waking consciousness, and bring that feeling with you, bring that recharge with you. Bring that essence of what sleep is all about back with you into the space. And just notice how you feel. Look around, starting to move the body, coming back into that full waking consciousness. Just notice how you're feeling now compared to 5-10 minutes ago. Same or different? So well done. You know how to sleep really well. You know how to sleep really deeply in the truest essence of what it means to sleep. In fact, sleeping is really waking. Waking is really falling asleep from a spiritual perspective. We've got it all back to front, haven't we? And so, yeah, what we've done today is maybe turn that upside down a bit and start to see that as, oh, okay, this is what sleep's for. Maybe this helps you to value it, to prioritize your sleep in a new way. Maybe it encourages you to look at how you can improve your sleep, knowing that it's all about going home and recharging. Hope you found that helpful, enjoyable. Please, any comments or any questions you'd like to share, happy to respond, and look forward to working with you next time.